Hey everybody. This series will be broken down into 5 videos covering the following subjects. In part 1, this part, I'm going to discuss masculine versus womanish behaviors. This portion of the video will get into truth versus fiction and the differences between provable facts and defamatory gossip. This section will also begin with a challenge to my critics, as well as talk about my relationship with 21 Studios, the Redman Group, and the gossip surrounding these things. Part 2 will discuss men's need for companionship and emotional support while touching on the dangers of social isolation and how it's harmful. In Part 3, I'm going to discuss the future of sex robot emotional relationships with men. I'll talk about where the technology is today, where it's going, and my concerns about how today's technology may harm men more than help them. In Part 4, I'm going to be discussing healthy multi-generational male mentorship and its scarcity, and how multi-generational male mentorship is required to reinvigorate healthy male masculinity across society. Finally, in Part 5, I'm going to be comparing the differences between each man's journey to internalized self-actualization versus the tribe of MGTOW, and how to identify those who seek to exploit men and boys while pretending to help them. With that preview out of the way, let's get started. Recently, I've been accused of being a PUA coach, of abandoning TFM because the Redman Group paid me to. I have also been accused of being sponsored and paid to promote tactical soap. Finally, Rich Cooper, in the comments section of his video announcing his departure from the Redman Group, stated that I made a video disparaging TFM that contained the 21 Studios logo and the 21 Convention logo. This is demonstratively untrue, as I've only used that logo in one video regarding a discussion about Bitcoin. Now, I respect Rich's decision to drop his participation from the 21 Convention, because even though Anthony assured him that the convention would be staffed with armed, seasoned security professionals, it's clear that Rich, like all women, values security over all else. Though, what can you expect from a citizen of a country led by Justin Trudeau, the world's leading mangina? The leader of one's country is often indicative of their citizens. While Canada still does have some masculine men left, it's clear that Rich is not one of them. You see, the other concern this woman is complaining about is that he's been harassed as a result of me publicly voicing my concerns about TFM. This is also demonstratively untrue. You see, Rich, made a video about 6 months ago criticizing and disparaging the MGTOW community. And ever since then, the MGTOW community has been critical of this bald-bearded woman speaking out on men's issues. Now, before anyone gets their tampons in a bunch, since I respect men of all genders, I'm concerned about misgendering Rich, or assuming his, her, zer gender. Hence why I'm referring to him as both genders, to cover all my bases. If indeed Rich is trans male, then I apologize deeply for misgendering him, her, zer. And I might suggest to Rich that he, she, zer increase the testosterone injection dosage so that this sort of thing doesn't happen in the future. I also suggest that he quits taking it orally and anally. Now, you see, the part I'm confused about is the bitch thinking contained in Rich's statements. If it wasn't for that, I would be far more confident in labeling him as a red pill man, rather than a dishonest mangina who makes up false narratives like a blue pill cuck. You see, I don't mind being lied about. Just don't insult me with an easily provable lie. It's a waste of everyone's time, and when the truth comes out, it destroys the credibility of the liar. Now, while we're on the subject of manginas and cucks, I have a challenge to my critics. Many of my critics have said that I left TFM for the Redman Group, and for those who say this, here is my challenge. Locate a Redman Group video announcing me joining them as a weekly contributor to their roundtable, and a timestamp announcing that I have received money for this. You see, I know you can't, because I'm not part of the Redman Group. I've been a guest on their podcasts, but I have never been a regular contributor or member. Now, that's not to say that this won't change in the future, but if I do join them somewhere down the line, it won't be because I abandoned TFM in favor of them. Now, while we're on the subject of being men instead of bitches, to my critics who say that I'm a PUA coach, please provide a video or a public statement by me promoting my PUA coaching system. Oh yeah, you can't. It's because I'm not a PUA coach. I've even spoken out on numerous times on the TFM show, on the TFM 420 show, and on my own videos against PUA coaching. I think this comes from the fact that the Redman Group allows PUA coaches on their podcasts. And since the Redman Group has been friendly with me, I'm being falsely targeted because of who I associate with, not for anything I've done. This is textbook blue-pilled cuckoldry. It's also tribalism. This is something TFM has spoken out against as early as 2015 in his video, The Matrix of Tribal Identity. Now, I'm not going to get into the other stupidly and provably false accusations this Spurg squad has leveled against me, but I will say this. If you're a critic and you want to accuse me of something, link a video I've created to something I have said and timestamp it. Prove your claim. If you can't or you won't, then I'll treat your accusations as baseless, as should everyone else. You see, accusations without facts, they're gossip. And red pill masculine men don't gossip. Only manginas, cucks, and women gossip. They also bitch behind closed doors, in private Discord voice chats, because like TFM says, bitch is bitch. Men bring their issues to the table in the open, publicly if necessary, if the private route doesn't work first. Not to create discord, but because steel sharpens steel. And the only way to verify the validity of one's ideas and beliefs, to determine whether or not it's valid, healthy, or credible, is to challenge it. To see if it holds up to public scrutiny, free from propaganda, deflections, and reframes, or baseless accusations. And only red pill men are capable of doing this. But this scares manginas. Why? Well, it's because women value the blue pill lie over the red pill truth every time. They label men's issues as drama because it's easier to dismiss, because they're scared of the necessary conflict associated with challenging one's ideas and beliefs to see if they're valid. Finally, to be clear, while I was sponsored by 21 Studios to promote the 21 Convention, that relationship ended by mutual agreement and on good terms. In the short term I have known him, I have come to appreciate Anthony Johnson's red pill approach. And even if he and I don't agree on everything, he's a red pill leader worthy of respect. Healthy masculine men are an endangered species in Western society. Fathers and other masculine men have been demonized and targeted for destruction across the board. Today, more than any other time in history, men suffering without healthy male mentorship are exhibiting psychological issues at a higher rate than ever before. You see, here's the dirty secret. Most mass shooters, over 93% of them, come from homes devoid of their biological father. If these boys had healthy male mentorship and good relationships with their dad, a good red pill relationship with their dad, they might have had healthy lives and never committed these crimes. In my book, The Feminist's Lie, in Chapter 3, I discuss in detail the problems with children being raised in broken homes, and how healthy homes with a loving biological mother and biological father create better outcomes for their offspring, their family, and their communities. How is this related to the 21 Convention? It's a convention where red pill masculine men are offering male mentorship, education, and guidance to men that they probably won't and aren't getting from anywhere else. Until gynocentric society changes and stops demonizing masculine men and destroying fathers and families, it's organizations like 21 Studios, the 21 Convention, and the Redman Group that are teaching fatherless, isolated men and boys the skills they need to transform from lost, insecure blue pillars to confident, self-reliant masculine men, red-pilled enough to face and overcome the challenges of living in a feminist society. You see, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you label yourself, what tribe you identify with. If you exploit men and boys, know this, you are my enemy. But if you support them and help mentor them to become red pill, masculine, self-reliant men, then you are my brother, regardless of what tribe you belong to. I'm DDJ, and this red pill reality check is your dose of misandry today.